to upper body and core focus day. Today we're doing 6 exercises, all focused on core and upper body. So you will need some home weights, some dumbbells or soup cans, water bottles, whatever you have handy. You will need those. If you opt not to use them, then that's totally fine too. I assume that you guys have done the warm-up video that we've set up for you. Make sure that you get those muscles warmed up before we start anything. Everything will be done in 2 sets today, 15 repetitions on everything. As always, if you need more from this workout, you are going to add more sets in or higher repetitions, more weight, however it is that you need to unpack this. That's what you're going to do to make sure that you take the most out of this time together. We're going to try to keep this one a little bit condensed. So we're going to motor right on through. Take your rest as you need them, push pause, do some stretching, whatever it is you need to do. Make sure you've got your water handy, and let's get rocking, guys. So I'm going to give you a quick little lowdown on what the exercises are so that you know what is coming. First one is your down dog, downward dog, and that's just starting in the plank position. And hips up, hips come back to plank. Hips up, hips come back to plank. If you need to modify that because you don't want to be up on your hands, go down onto the forearms. That's not a problem at all. The next exercise is going to be in the plank position, and you are actually going to be on your forearms. So, starting here, and we're just rotating. So we've done these in another workout, can also be done on knees. And we haven't made the rotation as big a movement. Today we're going to just make it a little bit bigger range of motion. Doesn't mean it's harder or easier, it's just gonna be a little bit different. If you find that that bigger range of motion bothers your shoulder girdle, go back to the nice little condensed movement that we've done in a prior workout, okay? Next will be where you need your dumbbells or your water bottles. I have filled my water bottle today with some water. I want a little bit bigger challenge, so I added some weight. If you are doing that and you are using water bottles, make sure that you've got the same amount of water in both, just so that you're kind of rolling out the same weight on both sides. This is an alternating chest fly. Laying down on the floor. If you have a bench at home or a ball, feel free to use those as your base. I'm going to bring my legs up just to let my lower back release down into the floor, and we're just going to alternate our flies. I like my flies done with my palms facing my legs. A lot of people prefer palms facing each other. You choose how you want to do these ones. There is no right or wrong. I just find this one is kinder on the joints. So alternating flies. We are long lever. The dumbbells or water bottles are coming over the mid chest. That's where they're meeting. That's where the work is being done. Okay? So we'll be doing 15 per side on that. Our next one is going to be up on top or up onto the hands, back in the plank position. So you can see with the core work, we're trying to take a lot of upper body and core work together. And what better way to do that than plank work? So we're staggering our position. Our hands will be staggered. And we're just going to hold for 30 seconds and then hold for 30 seconds. So my hands are like that. Not crazy, just slightly offset, if you can kind of see. I'm dropping them down from my shoulders and I'm just offsetting them slightly. I'm just gonna ask my body to work a little bit in the offset way, okay? Just kind of, you want to do that every now and then, just like holding 2 different weights. We can do lots of work like that. Functional daily strength is what we need. Your bags, your grocery bags aren't always going to weigh the same. You know, you're going to carry a bag on one side, a child on one side. You want to make sure that your core recognizes that and is able to stabilize the body and answer to those situations, yeah? So our next one is back into the laying down position. And again, bench or ball can be used. I'm using 2 water bottles. This is a pullover motion. For this one, I am going to put my palms facing my legs again, and I'm doing a nice long overhead pullover. If you'd rather use only one weight, if we were in the gym, I really love doing a one dumbbell pullover, just a powerful movement for the lats, for the upper chest, triceps get brought in, shoulder girdle. It's just a really sweet movement. You can do a ton of weight on that if you choose to. It's just very powerful. And then we're going into a version of a push-up, but it's actually, you're going to bend the legs. Bend the legs. You may be able to get deeper on that bend. I'm dealing with a little bit of leg soreness today, so I'm gonna, hence the upper body and core workout. So we'll work through the range on that one, okay? So let's get started. Top to bottom, 6 exercises, back to back. If you need a break in between the exercises, you're going to take it. If you need your water, I encourage you to be drinking your water during the workout. Let's get these things out of the way. We're starting with our downward dog. 15 will be my count. You decide if you want to add some weight into that. No problem. Okay? So, let's go. Elbows are soft. Hands are pointing forward. Head is not hanging. And let's get into our 15. And I'm not shrugging. 4, 5, 6. Nice. Hips power up. 8. If you don't want to do 15 and you only want to do 10, that's fine. 11. 13. 14. 15. Drop down. Give yourself a stretch if you need it. Take your time. We're getting into our rotation plank down on our forearms now. Not getting up and down a lot on this workout, which is kind of nice. Rotation plank, we're doing 15 pairs. So 15 per side. I'm gonna alternate. So I'm gonna alternate on this one today. Sometimes I prefer to do one side in completion and then go to the other side, but today let's alternate. Forearms, remember, no hands touching. Here we go. 2, 2, 3. Don't forget, you can do these on your knees if you want to. 5, 5. Try not to let your hips hang. Breathing. 9, 10, 11. Breathe. Core should be kicking in. 13, 14, 15. Stretch it out. Do what you need to do to feel good on that one. Make sure that you did not hold your breath. I know that I did a little bit. I can tell with my breathing that I definitely wasn't breathing properly. So I'm gonna make sure I check that second set through. Alternating chest flies. Let's go, guys. Now, if you don't like your legs right off the floor, keep them bent. If you don't want them off the floor and straight, just have them bent and off the floor. Your choice, or you can lay them up on a chair. Totally your decision. I'm gonna put mine up here. Here we go. So, 15 pairs. 3 long arms. 4. You are not hinging at the elbows. They're soft, but they're in a fixed position. This is 6th pair. 6. You go at your own pace. 7. Remember, if you've been knocking these exercises out for a long time and you do have weights at home, grab them, push yourselves and challenge yourselves. I have 5 more pairs. Don't cross your ankles if your legs are up. Leave them uncrossed. Could 14. Hear the water chugging around in my bottles. And that is it. Good. Get yourselves up. Take your sips of water if you need them. And we're moving on to our staggered plank hold. So I actually did the demo on my hands, which is how I'm going to do both my sets because we are doing some forearm planks in this one as well. But if you don't want to do that, just stagger your forearm stance. That's fine. Again, wrist action for some people, it's not for everybody. So if you want to come down onto the forearms, you aren't taking away from the workout at all. It just strikes a little bit differently, okay? So we're holding for 30 seconds on each side for this one. Nothing is happening other than offsetting. And if you don't want to offset them, you don't want to stagger the stance, just hold a regular plank for a minute. 30 seconds starts right now. So, got my posterior pelvic tilt. I'm checking my shrugging, making sure that's not happening. Elbows are soft. I'm looking down at the floor right below my face. I am not hanging my head. 5 seconds and then we're gonna switch. 30 seconds actually goes by pretty quickly. Drop down onto the knees. Repeat the exact same staggered position. Here we go. I hope that you've found a little mirror that you can kind of put near you so you can check what you're doing, especially in these plank situations. Really easy for the body to start doing some pretty funky things. 5 seconds. Woo! Breathe. Drop down. If that wasn't enough for you, add time. Add time to that if that wasn't enough for you. Now remember, this is your time. Maximize it. Make it as aggressive on your body as it is safely possible. Laying back down on our back with our weights, pullovers, okay? So, I'm gonna use 2. If you've got something heavier, and maybe second set I'll go with just one thing. I've got a weighted ball here I might use. You could use a heavy book, a pot, an empty pot. I don't know, if you have a stone that you want to use that's not too heavy, that's really easy to hold on to, you could put that up there. Yeah, be creative. 15 of these. And here we go. Here we go. Oh, I actually want to rotate. I'm rotating my palms to my legs, and that is because when I'm doing 2 arms with my dumbbell pullover, I don't like putting my dumbbell like that because it kind of shortens out my range. I would like to get a couple of extra inches on my range because for my body that is comfortable. May not be for you. You bring them all the way down to your comfort level, which by the way, this may be where you need to stop. That's fine. I've got pretty decent range on this one, and I'm bringing them all the way up to mid-chest. That's home base, my start point and my stop point. This is 11, 12. You want them to be going at the same pace. They get down to the bottom of the range together, they come back up together. We all have one side that we're going to feel stronger on and favor. You want to make sure that you are forcing both sides, the stronger and the weaker of the 2 sides, and you're forcing them to act in unison, okay? Now we're into our final exercise it's the version of push-ups with the knee bending. So our hand position is such that it stays where it is. Our hands are here and this is where they stay. We are not bending our elbows. No, we are not. This one's a little bit tricky. We are bending our knees. Boom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. 15 of these, or whatever Good. Drop down, stretch what you need to stretch, do what you need to do. That's round one, done already. So all we have left is one more round together. If you want to add another round or two, take your workout to another level, please do. This one I do want to keep, I'm trying to keep this one to 30 minutes, so yeah, those of you who know me know how that is a challenge, but we're back to our downward dogs. Don't forget, hips come up with power, lower down a little bit slower. You want that negative to be a little bit slower, coming down to just a regular plank. Okay? All right, line it up. 15. I'm stacking my shoulders, elbows, and wrists on top of each other. I'm not out here. I'm going to be here for this one. Check yourself. 1, 3. Coming to a nice clean line plank. Do not drop the hips. That's not what we're doing. Breathing. 11. Should feel that upper body starting to kick in now. 13. 14. Last one. Take your stretch as you need it. Now we're staying down here. We're on our elbows, and we're going to do our rotation plank. We are exaggerating that rotation, remember? So we're coming a little bit higher than we have done together. Be mindful of that. We're not going right up into a side plank, but we're coming a little bit more aggressive on the rotation than we have before. So be careful. 15 pairs. Knees or off knees. Woo. Over rotated on that one. 2. Be picky. Put those arms down where they belong. Don't just plop them down. 6. 6. 8. Head is going with. 11. 12. Woo, yikes. 14. 15. Drop it down. Stretch it out. Take as long on the stretch as you need to. We are back down on our back, alternating chest flies. So what I'm going to do this time, check it out. I'm only going to take one. And we're not obviously going to be alternating. And what this is going to do is challenge our core a little bit, because we're trying to hit our core today nicely too. So I'm going to put my legs back up again, but you don't have to. You choose your position. And I'm just going to do one arm for 15 and then the other. Why? Well, because now that I've weighed this side down, I'm asking this side of the core to kick in and stabilize a little bit more aggressively than if I had both sides weighed down. So be careful. If you are using dumbbells and you're using a lot of weight, don't let it pull you over. You want to be able to manage this weight nicely, keeping your full low spine down into the floor, okay? You don't want to have to be holding on and kind of bearing down. Keep this clean. Let's go. 2, 3. If you need a bit of an anchor, put that arm down. 5. I'm going to cross over my midline here. Take a bit more of a range. 8, so I'm coming across. 9, long lever. 10, mid chest is where I'm going home. 12, 13, 14, your low back should feel 100%, it's it, supported. Careful, switch hands, be mindful of when you are switching, be very sure about your grip. Readjust. Support the core. Do what you need to do. Let's get 15 more of these knocked out. And I'm watching that my feet aren't responding, my legs aren't responding. That means that my hip flexors are going to be kicking in. I'm allowing more than just my core to act as the stabilizers in the body. And I want this to be 100% my core's job. Lower back, belly, full front body, back body in the core area. I want that to have to do all the work on keeping my legs still. It's a nice way to kind of make sure that you're staying where you should be and that you're doing the work that you should be. Watching the legs and seeing if they're moving around, and if they are, you know that you're not doing the job properly. So watch your body, pay attention to what's going on. So I'm already at 13. Love this movement. And 15. Very nice, guys. Do what you need to do to stretch that out. You need to do a couple shoulder rolls, whatever it is that's gonna make you feel good. Do that. We're going right to the staggered plank. Go into the staggered plank hold. Again, I'm going back up onto my hands. If you want to do this up on a chair or a bench or a couch or whatever, you can easily do that, and you can do that two different ways. If you put your upper body up on the incline, if you elevate your upper body, you're going to make the movement just a touch easier on yourself. Still challenging, still going to be doing the nice intact version of it. It's just on the incline. If you need to elevate the level a little bit, put your feet up on something and you'll be working down onto a decline version of whatever the plank happens to be. We're on a staggered version, but you know, if you don't want to go quite as high as a couch or a chair, use a stair, a stool, whatever, and don't go quite as elevated. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm good to go with what I've got going on over here. I feel challenged enough by that today. So I'm just going to hold for 30 seconds per side. Ready? I started this way last time. I'm going to start the other way this time. And 30 seconds starts right now, guys. Checks, do your checks. No shoulder shrugging, elbows are not locking, no. My hips aren't going up crazy high. They're definitely not coming down crazy low. I want the front and back portions of my core to be doing the work. 10 seconds left on this side. Breathing. And down on the knees. You don't need to come down onto the knees to switch this. Some people are going to just be able to do it in the plank position. Let's go. 30 seconds. Breathing. Relax the face. Unclench the jaw. Breathe. Nice big natural breath into the belly. It should be expanding on the inhale, don't forget. 10 seconds, guys. If you're shaking, that's normal. Check yourself. This is when the body starts to fail. Down onto the knees. And take your stretch. Do what you need to do. We are back onto our pullover. I'm going to use a weighted ball. So I've just got this one. It's only 9 pounds. It's not a huge weight, but with this, because it's not going to be really super easy for me to grip, I wouldn't use a very heavy ball because the last thing I want is to have something, you know, fall out of my hands in this position. But just to shake it up a little bit, I'm going to hold on to this. Like I said, if you've got a coffee table book or something like that that you can really firmly grip and you want to add that weight in and you don't have dumbbells, then go ahead and grab that, push pause and come on back. This guy has been around for a long time, it's pretty beat up, and it's got areas on the ball. What do I got doing here? It's got areas on the ball that are not going to be slippery or causing me any grief as far as droppage. So I've got my legs up, 3. Probably one of my favorite upper body movements. I love it. I feel strong on it. I like doing it on the ball, on the red ball that's up in the corner, you can see. And where my head and shoulder blades are supported. I'm in a tabletop position. My core is having to do a ton of work on that, in that position. But most of my bench work for upper body, as often as possible, I will use a ball. Just get more out of it. Plus, I like the shoulder stability that it gives my entire shoulder girdle, whereas sometimes the benches, if they're not wide enough to support the shoulder girdle, you know, your shoulder blades are kind of hanging off, or it's just not very comfortable. So I just always like the ball. One more thing when you're doing this one, in the middle of the movement, don't twist your head, don't be looking around. Everything needs to be in its neutral position. We're pretty much at the end of our set here. It's nice because even just holding a ball, I'm holding on, that's my last one. I'm holding on tightly because I don't want it to slip out of my hands, and I can feel my chest muscles engaging because I'm kind of grabbing on differently than I would if I were just using dumbbells. So kind of nice to just use different shapes of things to challenge the hands, the grip strength, huge, forearms and all that stuff, right? We get used to holding on to certain shapes of things, and that's just not life. That's not how it goes. Where in life we're having to deal with all different sorts of things. So we are at our last exercise, and it's our knee bending push-ups. So get yourself sorted out, set it up. Let's go. 15, 3, 4, nice powerful movement. 6, 7, don't force range. 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, last one. Again, one last stretch. Give yourself a nice stretch. Do what you need to do to feel good. For those of you who are moving forward and doing your next set, do it exactly the same way. Or if you want to play around with the repetition range or the weights, do that. Grab a fourth set, whatever works for you. You want to be challenging yourself, whatever level you're at. Safely challenge yourself with all these workouts, guys, okay? I will see you next time, and don't forget, hit subscribe and hit the little bell for